And we're loving having you. We are. Because you have been with me from the beginning. Everything that I have done,
Yeah,
you have been in. So, like I said, it's been an amazing ride. So he's definitely the
absolutely.
Species Inc. vet. Definitely. So we really appreciate all your hard work, Kenyatta. So
Hmm.
why don't you tell us who you play and what those characters are like?
Okay. The first character that I play is a character named Melvin. And Melvin is supposed to be kind of like an older version of a Steve Urkel, kind of, um, who is in love with one of the other castmates, Tiffany. And that's just something that you just have to see when you come. And another person that I play is the doctor, a
Mhm.
doctor in the play. Um, and lastly, oh no, I play Andre.
Yes.
Yes, I play Andre in the play. Not many people like Andre, but that's okay. That's okay. And lastly, I play I would say the dreaded process server.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
yes,
Yes,
yes, yes.
man.
So you're
Yes,
doing
man.
some multiple
Yes.
roles, right?
Yeah,
So,
multiple hats. Multiple hats. Absolutely.
so what was the preparation trying to prepare to play multiple characters for this particular
Oh,
production?
well, it's definitely getting into a different mindset
Mhm,
of what that kind of person is, and continually to like mold yourself into that person and
mhm.
into that space of that person. So it's just been a journey with each character that I'm still learning with, and I'm still trying to perfect to the, you know, yeah.
So, which character do you like performing the best? Which one
Use
out of everybody?
YouTube.
Um,
Who's
it'll
the
probably shock you, but the person that I love playing the best is the process server. It's a
really,
small role. It's a small
really?
role, definitely, but I don't know what it is about it. But my few lines, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
I would not have get. I would have thought you would have said either Melvin or Andre. Really, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
But it
I
looks like
don't.
you have fun playing the doctor too. But I
Yeah.
wouldn't have thought I would. That was the one that I was thinking he definitely wouldn't say.
Yeah, I definitely, I don't want to be hated. I've seen a lot of movies where I hate the gentleman that plays the role. Of course, that person is not like that, but definitely the process servers, definitely.
Oh wow.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
I love it. I
Okay.
love it.
I would not have thought that. I
Yeah.
wasn't prepared for that answer. Okay, so that was a good answer. So to you,
Hmm.
who is the breakout star of this production? So that means like a person, it might be the first time and no one really saw it coming. Who's the breakout star for you?
Well, for everybody on the set, it's been my fiance Nia Collins. She's just shown up and shown
Ah,
out. That's what she's
this
done. Yeah.
girl. Ah,
Yeah.
now I have got to see her. I mean,
Yeah.
just didn't see it
Yeah.
coming. This lady didn't unpack some things.
Yeah.
She had us all just getting ready to lose our whole entire minds. I mean,
Absolutely.
she just pulled out some extra attitude, some extra oomph. And the
Hmm.
woman is bad. That's all I can say. The woman is bad.
Yeah.
She just
To
had all
think that I was trying to tell her how to do things and she just did her own thing.
she did,
She
and she
did.
is
She did her
doing
own
that
thing.
thing. She is doing
She
that
is.
thing. So I think if we did a poll amongst the cast members of who our breakout star is in this
Absolutely.
particular production that just came out of nowhere and just shocked everybody and is just doing her
Definitely.
thing, would
Definitely.
definitely be Nia because she is so quiet and just,
Yeah. Yeah,
totally
she is.
opposite of the character that she plays.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Absolutely.
I mean, they
Absolutely.
have got to see her performance because I'm telling you, this woman is really playing her
Yeah.
characters to the T. And so there are a few of us who are playing multiple characters,
Yes.
and Nia is one of those people as well.
Mhm.
And so that always is very amazing, amazing. So what type of things did you have to do to prepare for your roles that you were playing?
Well, the first thing I had to do was read over the whole script and and go over what each person's role was, get a little background and infer a couple things. That was the first thing. And the second thing is once I understood what I would say the character's nature was and how he was portrayed, how they were portrayed in the play. I just took it from doing research of people that I've watched in movies and things of that sort to better prepare myself to be that kind of person and enter into that into that role. So yeah.
Okay, okay, I love it. I
Hmm.
love it. I love it. Um, let's see. I'm going to try to bring on one of our youngest cast members while we're just for a second just to change up. She's
Hmm.
actually the youngest cast member in the bunch, and
Wow.
she's actually yeah, and she's right here with me right now. And so, why don't you step into the camera, young lady? Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Say hi to everybody. You
Hi.
gotta say hi. You
Hi.
gotta say, and you gotta tell them who you are and who you play.
I am Taraja and I play Little Tiffany.
Yeah, you gotta tell them. Okay, Raven, let's see if we can get you on camera. Don't move. She's shy. Okay. So say it. So who do you play?
Little Tiffany.
And so what was it like being in your first production?
Scared.
So you were scared? Okay, so what did you do to prepare for your role, Miss Taraja? You don't know what you did. You gotta tell them what you did.
I
You don't know
don't
what to say? What about all your practicing and all the things you have to do to say your line?
Little Tiffany?
Yeah, I mean, well, we know that you play with little Tiffany, but I'm saying, so you want to tell them what type of work you did to get your role down?
I practice.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Anything else? Well, she's a woman of few words, but she what?
I practice real hard.
She did. She did, and she does an amazing job, Miss
She
Tara.
has shown that. She has shown
She
that.
has. She is just
Absolutely.
growing up, getting big. All right, Miss Lady. And she's looking at you, Kenyatta, really intensely. so, so it's been an amazing, amazing ride. To you, when you think about families and secrets, what are some
Hmm.
things that really kind of just come to mind when you think about families and how how secrets can kind of change the dynamics in families?
Well, the first thing is that in predominantly African American families, it's the stigma or the stereotype that whatever happens in this house stays in this house.
You know that's right.
And another one would be we don't do therapy because we're not going to go to somebody else to tell us what we doing wrong. So I believe, and the last one that really hurts us is that um, we need to be hush hush about things
Right.
and forgive and forget before you even try and I would say repair the problem and and actually solve and do something about it.
Got some deep insights for only 22 years old. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. But I mean, it's so true. A lot of times we don't like to talk about mental health and about those
Hmm.
issues, and we don't like to be discussed, or we don't want people in our business. But this play really gets in the Warrens' business.
It does.
There's some mess going on, and um, which character is your least liked character? Which character do you like the least in this play?
Hmm. I don't want to say the obvious one, so I'll say the second obvious.
Okay.
For me, I'd say Andre,
Okay.
and I
Okay.
dread it, but because I don't want black men to be portrayed that way. But yeah, that's definitely The least liked. Absolutely.
Okay. I can understand that. I can relate to that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not really feeling Andre in this play either. Not at all. But we have some moments that make people laugh, make people cry, and thoughts, you know, moments that really make people think. What has been your biggest takeaway just for this play and what it's going to mean to so many people? Because a lot of times we are dealing with things and no one likes to talk about the things that are going on. A lot of times, you know, our whole world could be falling apart. Someone can ask, you know, how's everything? And we just immediately say everything's fine, but
Yeah.
everything is not, and everything is not fine. Everything is not okay. But we just kind of try to maintain that that posture that, you know, I got this. Everything is good. You know, we're not really checking in. We're not really willing to be vulnerable or transparent. So when you think about that, what out of everything that what is like one central message that you just really receive from this play? And why should people? I'm asking you that, then I'm ask a follow up question.
Okay. To answer that question, I would say my biggest takeaway from the whole entirety of the play and what you were discussing would be that when it comes to your own healing, you're the one that should be you're the one that should be taking the step forward. And what I mean by that is if you understand that there is something that's hurting you, I know it's hard, but you have to find someone to talk to. And you have to break a lot of um, stereotypes and excuses to keep yourself in the hole that you're in and continue, you know, digging yourself in a deeper hole, which doesn't lead you to any better place than where you are right now. So I would say the biggest thing would be to um, take your own pain and whatever you're going through and take charge to um, get that solved. I would say that'd be. I can't.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So thank you very much for that answer, Kenyatta. That was a very deep answer. So we're joined by Selena, who plays. Can you tell us who you play and kind of your synopsis of what the play is about?
I play Bianca, and um, the play is about a few things.
Yeah.
But basically, I would say how a family can be torn apart by things that you keep secret, even though you're trying to keep your family together.
Okay.
So it's a little deeper, you know, for me, because you try to keep so many things a secret,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really tearing you apart, even though you think everything is, you know, you think you're mending everything and keeping everything, you know, from happening. You think everything's okay, but when it all comes down to it, it's not. It's not.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Who is your favorite character in
Oh,
the play?
who's my favorite character?
Mm-hmm.
Um, ooh, I have more than one, but
If you had to pick one.
if I had to pick one, I probably would say, why can't I think of his name right now? It's not Andre.
Melvin.
Melvin. Because he's just so funny. He's really funny.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how, you know, I'm sure a number of people have had those kind of scenarios where somebody just, they can just do so much, they can really get on your nerves. But at the same time, like, leave me alone. But then they cute too. You just like, I have to say, I would have to say Melvin because he makes me laugh a lot.
No, yeah.
I can't
Uh,
disagree
so so let me ask, who has been the breakout character for you? So like that's a person might be their first time performing, uh, didn't really see their performance coming, but they just kind of came in and just kind of like blew you away. Like, wait a minute, like
Okay,
you must have done this before.
okay. I'm gonna have to say uh, Stephanie Dana.
Miss Nia Collins.
Yes, because she showed out last week. And
Yes, she did. Yes, she
I have
did.
He
her
did. He
on her
did.
because I'm like, I knew she had it in her, but she was doing it. She was doing her thing Saturday.
Yes.
I will say. I think she showed all of us that she had some stuff deep down that she wasn't showing at first.
Definitely did. I mean, it's just amazing. And we also are joined by Miss Takara Gregory, one of our other younger actresses on The Beautiful Truth About an Ugly Lie. Takara, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself and who you play?
I'm Tak- I'm Takara.
Mm-hmm. She got a little bit of feedback. Go ahead. That's all right. You can keep going.
I'm Takara. I play Tiffany. Um,
Well, while she's getting her answer together, she's gonna tell us in a second. Yes, you ready?
okay, I'm Tiffany, and let me see. So, as a young kid in the play, as young Tiffany, I'm like kind of developing who I become when I'm older. I feel
Mhm.
like she holds in a lot, and she's probably one of the siblings that is misunderstood,
Definitely.
and she is she she may try to come off one way but is probably taken the other way, and she definitely loves her sisters,
Yes.
but I feel like she doesn't it's a lot of pain and stuff that she's going through, so she doesn't know how to cope with it.
Okay. That's some very deep insight. So, what did you do to prepare for your role, Takara? And first, would you tell everybody how old you are?
I'm 13.
Yes, this is so y'all. This is my niece, and my niece is not disappointing. She is making her TT so proud up in here. I mean, of course, you're making your mama them proud too, but you're making your TT proud up in here. So, what did you have to do to prepare for this role, Takara?
um
And do you have any other acting experience?
yes, I do. I played in I want to say it was kind of like a short film called Blackbird Fly. So I do have experience. I did a Medusa play, also about Raven Wilkinson. But
And you started some of your TT's other stuff.
yes, I started a lot of her plays. Um, yeah.
Okay, so what did you do to prepare for your role?
To
Because you
prepare,
play
I
such a strong character.
I studied. I felt like I had to like put myself in her shoes though, because Tiffany isn't an easy role to play. I feel like she has a lot of emotion, and
Definitely.
you really have to take yourself and put yourself in her shoes to see what she's going through to actually be how she is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it took a lot of studying and um empathy, like putting myself.
I love it. I love it. So give the audience one reason why you think they should come to see this play.
I think you guys should come see this play because I feel like it will give you a different look on life, and it's honestly just a really good play. It will open up your eyes to a lot of different things.
Mm. Yeah, and so I love it. I love it. She's so well spoken. So, Selena, I don't think you got a chance to introduce yourself. Why don't you tell us a little bit about you, and what it's been like for the evolution of this play? Because people might not know this, but we actually started this play back in what time? What year? What year?
Girl, I can't remember.
Girl, in 2019.
Yeah, yeah,
We started in 2019, then we
yeah.
stopped, then COVID happened, and we started back up at the end of last year.
Yes, it's been
Mhm.
a long journey.
Yes.
However, I think that maybe it was supposed to take a long journey so that we could do, well, you could make some make some changes, and not only make some changes, but um add some things that really needed to be talked about as
Mm,
well. Different I guess you can say looking at it in a different lens for every character.
mm,
You know what I mean? And
yes.
I think that the everyone who plays a character has been through some things since
Hmm.
19, and so it's a little bit easier to understand who you play and
Yes.
find whoever you're playing. There's something in that character that resembles you that you
Mm,
may not have thought about before, or maybe you didn't think someone else saw you like that.
mm.
So I
Very,
been a long,
very good answer.
it was a well needed journey for all of us to grow in some way.
I love that answer. Now let me ask you this. How difficult was that? Because the writer of this play was constantly changing things, constantly adding things, removing things, shifting things, rearranging stuff. One minute you got this situation going on, the next minute you got a totally different situation, or there's an add on. How did you cope with the constant changes that were being made to this production?
I can't speak for anyone else, but because I've been in a number, all of the production,
Yes.
I kind of know what could happen. You know what I mean? And in other people's plays as well. I kind of, I was able to be supportive, put it that way. I'm
Definitely.
not going to say it wasn't difficult because you might learn a part this way, and then next thing you know, you got like 18 other 18 other things that you got to say, and you got to try to
Mhm.
remember that, or the part that you thought you had, it got a little longer
Yes.
or a little shorter. So you
Yes.
had to put a little bit more time in. Plus life happens. So, it was, I would say it wasn't all easy, but the message needed to get out for me. That's how I dealt with it.
Yeah, because that writer, I'm telling you, that girl was changing stuff and changing stuff.
Uh, I just prayed.
Yeah, and you guys really were very patient with the process, and I think some stories are constantly being told, and as you're looking at the evolution of a character and a thought process, sometimes those things can change, and I mean it
Yeah,
takes a lot on the cast to be able to adapt with the constant changes that come with productions. And I'm very grateful that you all were able to just have the wherewithal to be able to stick, with me during this process because things changed.
yeah,
Because characters changed. There was so much that has gone on, you know what I mean? And there were some people who wanted to be able to continue with us, but sometimes life can just get in the way and, you have to deal with life. And
exactly.
so, like I said, it was an amazing journey. It was an amazing process. And I'm just going to forever be eternally grateful for each person that played the part that they played at that time, what
Hmm.
the energy and the life that they brought into the role, and then those people who have picked up the mantle and come in and joined the cast at whatever state that they came in and joined it, no matter what leg in the journey it was. they just made it even more phenomenal. So it took all of those bits and pieces, all of those contributions from all those various people who have contributed to this production to make it into what it is today. And so I want to just say thank you to all of you. So thank you to everyone who has been a part of this production from start to finish and anywhere in between.
Learned a lot.
Definitely, definitely. So for you, there are times when the play makes you laugh, when it makes you think, and the times when it makes you cry. Who has made you laugh the most in this play?
Well, I already told you who made me.
Outside of him, so since you said Melvin, outside of Melvin.
I have to say probably Michelle.
Okay.
And definitely Stephanie Dana. Yeah, those two.
Yeah, definitely. And then on the flip side, who has made you cry? Which character has made you cry?
Ooh, Felicia.
Girl, that Felicia.
Felicia.
That Felicia.
Yes, ma'am, Felicia.
Yes.
Okay. And if I could have two, I would have to say little Katrina.
Little Katrina been little Katrina in. I mean, it's just so many phenomenal people. I mean, because even when you think about Mama, who's played by Kimberly Nelson, she's another tearjerker. You know what I'm saying? You gotta watch yourself. Sometimes people can just put chills up your spine, and you like almost finna cry, but you like, wait a minute, I know this thing ain't real.
Right.
I'm sitting up here playing this thing with them.
He's definitely.
But you didn't got me, right? You didn't sit up there and had a moment. And just thinking about that, you had recently called me and left a voice clip. I was so traumatized by the voice clip because I'm thinking, like, what is wrong with my sister? Like, what is going on? And then I kept listening. I'm like, wait a minute. These are the words from the play. I'm like, wait a minute. She is in there going over her lines. Yeah. I was so caught up in the emotions that it took me a while to actually realize what you were saying. I'm like,
right.
This ain't even for real. This is the lines from the play. At first I was thinking like, wait a minute, who is messing with my sister? Like, it's going to be a problem. But the more I was listening to him, like, she is saying her lines. I'm like, she done got me. But yeah, you had drew me in real fast with that. I was taking that thing for real.
I think that because even after I was practicing this morning, and I don't know, I mean, I've known this, but because of the death of Mama, certain things I was trying to keep from going to tapping into. But this morning when practicing, it just clicked. Like, I know you don't want to tap into that, but you have to tap into that during certain scenes. And it's deep and it's difficult, but I have to tap into that so that I can feel Bianca's emotions. I really do feel Bianca's emotions, but I'm running away from that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it just clicked this morning that hey, you need to tap into that because that's real, and somebody else is going through that situation, whatever that situation is.
Girl, I mean,
we run.
Girl, that's what we do best, right? We pick up them shoes and it's like, I'm not going to even deal with that problem. I'm not going to deal with that situation. I'm not going to deal with any of that. But there have been so many cast members who have experienced some personal loss or tragedy or something that has gone on. And yet they've still muscled through, all of these various adversities. And like I said, when I'm so proud and so amazed and so honored to be amongst the finest in the world. I love my cast 10 toes down. I'm standing on them. I mean, because you guys are just so incredible and so amazing. And it's just been a wonderful journey. And look who we have with us, the Miss Wonderful Mika. Miss Mika, all right. How you doing, gorgeous?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing good. I can't complain. I can't complain. Happy to see your lovely face. So why don't you introduce yourself and tell us who you play?
I am Tamika, or Miss Mika, Miss Tamika, however, which one you choose. And I am playing Miss Evelyn.
Yes, yes. Can you tell us a little bit about Miss Evelyn? Who is Miss Evelyn?
Well, Miss Evelyn is Mama's best friend. She is her ride or die,
Mm-hmm.
and she protects and cherishes and loves the family just
Yes.
like they are her own. The daughters are hers too. So,
Mm-hmm.
she gonna do what she do.
Yes, she is. She definitely is. So what type of things did you have to do to prepare for this role?
Um, I tapped into like what I do with kind of like the children in my family now, because I don't have any of my own right now. So I tap into the same feelings that I feel about the children in my family now. I treat them like they're my own. So it gets down like it gets down. I love them like they're my own. So I have to think of it the same way. I approach it the same way. I'm gonna treat them hardcore. Like don't mess with my fam. So the same love that I exude for my babies. That's what, and if you know me, you know me. That those are my babies. Those are my babies, and they know TT Mika is like, yeah, loving on them all the time. Sometimes I tell them, I say, I might not be all everywhere when you see me, but I'm everywhere when you know me. That's
Right.
how it goes. So
Okay.
yeah, I just basically tapped into all of those feelings and did the best I could.
Oh, you definitely did her. You definitely did her. And so when we think about the play, The Beautiful Truth About an Ugly Lie, and the fact that we're talking about secrets, and we all have family secrets, things that we don't want to discuss, things that we don't want people to know. When we think about that in correlation just with mental health, um, what type of impact do you think that this play is going to give in the conversation of mental health? And both of you can answer that question.
You want to go first?
Um, I guess I will say it's important for you to find someone to talk to, because it's easy to go down that dark hole where you are alone. You know what I mean? And so many things going through your head, and you hear so much stuff going on, you don't know which way to go. And I think that it's very important that we understand how important it is for us to do, to find somebody to talk to just get it out, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Because you never know who might be going through that same thing you're going through, and
Sure.
they may be able to help you somehow. They may not have all the answers, but they may be able to help you break down that wall so that you can, get an understanding of what you're going through.
That is true.
I
And
like, I
and
love,
then and the piggyback, that is absolutely true. We never know who may be in our corner, who may have sound advice, or even just to have the person to listen. Sometimes just venting is enough. Just venting to get it just out of your system, so you're not holding on to that energy, is enough. And then on top of that, it's like I think some of us have been ingrained to like just to hold it in, to not
yeah,
share it, or to not
Yeah.
to, we've been having that say, well, no, you're not supposed to, you're not supposed to. That's such a thing. For
Yeah.
for some reason in our community, I don't get it, but
mm-hmm.
it is such a thing with us to say, no, we got this, we got this, we got this. Where I feel like, how did we get to a place where we are always saying we're so strong, but then we're also holding it in? I feel like we could be a lot stronger if we are starting to lean on each other a little bit more and try to build each other too at the same time. Maybe if we start sharing some of these experiences, we would be a little bit more stronger too.
Mm.
I
We
definitely
already strong, but how about we be invincible and start getting some of this stuff off our back and build too? And I just that's something to think about.
I like both of those viewpoints that you guys shared. And I'm gonna just share a personal experience because I think that a lot of times we have that myth, especially of the strong black woman and what she looks like, and she wears a cape and she doesn't break and she doesn't buckle and she has everything, the world on her shoulders. She's holding up the black man and the family and she's doing all of these amazing things and she's not supposed to have any flaws or any cracks or anything. It's just like ideal of absolute perfection and she's supposed to juggle all this and still be okay, even though she has chaos and hell around her. And if she's not able to do all of those things, then she is not strong. Tati, my daughter who plays Nikisha in the play, she was like, Mama, I thought you were really strong, all the things you went through. But when you kind of experienced the death of Nia, it was like, I could see that you weren't strong anymore. Like I could see like the armor kind of like fading or going off. And I think that she saw me before as just being so resilient, still smiling when everything is going down. Like I got this. Yep, Jesus gonna get me through this, and I'm gonna I'm gonna carry through this one. But I had to tell her. I said, Tatiana, those times I really wasn't being strong. I was wearing a mask. I was pretending and just willing myself through it, but I wasn't dealing with anything. I was dealing with things by not dealing with them, packing them up, putting them in a box somewhere, compartmentalizing and saying, okay, I'm going to talk about this and I'm going to deal with this emotion at a later date. I can't process this thing right now. So I'm just going to continue going on. When I did experience the death of my daughter, all that began to crack, crack. And it takes more strength to recognize and to realize that, hey, I don't have everything together. It is much easier to say when someone asks you, are you okay? To say, yeah, everything is fine.
It is.
It takes more strength to say, you know what?
I'm not.
Everything is not okay. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not fine and I need help. And I think that this is what, the Warrens really bring to the table. We see these 6 strong black women just working and doing life and doing all of these things and trying to manage when inside, they're going through a living hell and they're just getting by getting by. And it's not until the crisis happens that provides the catalyst for them to address the elephant that's been in the room the entire time, that everybody is walking around, tiptoeing around, backdoor, not wanting to talk about, not wanting to see. And it's not until they're forced into this particular situation that now they have to now face the elephant and say, okay, we got to deal with this now because now the cat is out the bag and now we have to deal with it.
Yeah, you said like there's cracks, and it's like that's what you see throughout the play. It's like here's cracks, here's cracks, here's cracks, here's cracks, and then the catalyst is like here's the hammer. We're about to break all these cracks.
And now they're really forced to deal with the issue, and we're seeing that. So of course, we have the talented Chantel Riley who plays Dr. Watkins. What do you think her representation as a therapist will do in the eyesight of people as they watch her performance, and just with the dynamic that she adds to the Warren family?
She gives a space to be just her voice and how the questions that she asks. It gives you that space that it's okay for me to release this in a safe place.
Yes.
You can talk to people and they can judge you. You can talk to people you feel like, they gonna think this about my family, or they gonna think that about my family. Who they gonna go tell? You know what I'm saying? But as that therapist, she made you feel like you are important and what you are going through, looking at it through your lens, like, you know what, you can do this. You can do this. Release this and give it to who it's supposed to go to. Not it on your back.
and I'm gonna be a little weird on this, and
Okay.
believe it or not, like I'm always one of these people that pick like some stuff that people don't ever think about. The fact that the profession, because we are all African Americans in this play right now, is that there's an African American playing this role that maybe some young people can see, hey, this is a profession I can do.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. I like that.
you're right.
So I'm one of these people that I'm like, okay, they probably didn't think about that. Like, hey, so I can be a therapist.
You're right.
Definitely.
So there you
I mean,
go.
representation is everything. You know
Yes,
what I'm
it is.
saying? Seeing people go to therapy, seeing them get help, seeing someone who is knowledgeable, who is empathetic, who has some very good insights and allows, helping you to address some very real issues. I think is going to be, pivotal for a lot of people. And one thing I like to say, especially as Black women, a lot of times when we think about various things that we encounter, sometimes we bring up the church as if, because you're a Christian, somehow you don't need therapy, and as if Jesus doesn't care, about your mental health, or he doesn't want you to see a therapist, when that is not true and that's not biblical at all. But it's actually your character, Miss Evelyn, who brings up the whole situation about the girls going to see a therapist. And I think representation is powerful. I think seeing these women who are, pretty much affluent, running a company, handling life and doing things, them going to a therapist is good, because you can see why in the play they went to, see a therapist, and things help. They were helped to be able to resolve some issues and confront some things that were going on within their lives and their spectrums. And so, when you think about what you're playing and how that's going to speak to people, how does that really impact your performance?
Hmm.
I'm just hoping well, I know it's going to resonate. I just hope it's when it resonates, that it's sticking.
Mm.
Because that's always the goal when you're on the path to do a play that has such a message. You're like, okay, it's resonating, but is it going to stick? Please let it stick.
Mm-hmm.
Because you get people who say, okay, yeah, I got the message, but then you want the message to stick too. Like, they can get the message, but then 2 weeks from now, you don't want to be like, okay, they got the message 2 weeks ago. But then when they
Like,
encounter that own elephant in the room, did the message stick enough for you to say, dang it, let me go do X, Y, and Z? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So I was like, did it stick? I guess that's where I come from when these things happen, because it's okay, you got the message, but did it stick? And that's always where I'm at when things like that come up.
I like that answer. Selena, what about you?
I just hope that it helps someone to, after the play, to go seek some
Right.
kind.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And just being transparent, even like being in the play and some of the things that I've been going through lately,
Yes.
and that
Absolutely.
children have been going through lately.
Yes.
It's like, hey, Selena, you need to go talk to somebody.
Yes.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
and don't make you crazy.
Mm-mm.
Yes.
And because we get that stigma.
Yes.
You really need to go and just go seek that help, and let and try to tear down all those barriers that maybe you've been suppressing for a very, very long time. Because I talk about stuff that usually I just keep it to myself,
You do.
because I'm the person that everybody come to.
Yes.
And now I'm going through stuff, you know what I'm saying? Even when I went through the cancer, a lot of people didn't even know, and people were upset. And I didn't even think about it like that. Like, hey, you got people out here other than your core people that actually love you
Mm-hmm.
and actually care about what. Yeah, I'm sorry, but that actually care about you. For me, it's that, going back to what y'all were talking about, that secret thing. Even
Yeah.
though I didn't really I don't know, maybe I was keeping it a secret because it was like when people find out, they'd be like, you were sick. You don't never be in the hospital unless you having a baby. You know what I'm saying? And so maybe it was my secret because I didn't want to look broken. Like I have cancer.
Girl, you better shut your mouth. That
You know
was
what I'm saying?
good.
Like, what do you mean? Me? Why would I? How did I get cancer? Like what? I'm walking around. What?
Yeah.
And now I see it differently. Like, you know what? You shut people out that could have helped you build up. You know what I'm saying? From that whole, because that right there, for those who have dealt with any, any disease or anything like that, mental, whatever, physical, that stuff don't go away after you're healed. None of that stuff goes away. You think that it does, but the minute that you got a doctor's appointment or the minute that you doing this or that, all of that comes rushing right back.
It sure does. And that's what I was saying before, is having that strength. It's like, okay, we strong. But when you're sharing it and venting that to other people that you're supposed to have in that circle, that's what makes you invincible at that point. Because it's like, okay, now I got these people here that support that you vented to. Because now it's like, okay, they got me too. I had me, but like, okay, now I feel invincible because it's like, okay, now I got it. And you saying you got it before, it's like, I got this. No, I really got this. Because that's the strength I'm talking about. And so it's like, okay, we strong people, but we could be invincible if we learn how to get this mental stuff together too. And that's what I'm talking about. It's like, okay, like you said, there's other people out here that care about you. And so now, you know what I'm saying, you got it, and all them appointments that come rushing back and see what I'm saying. Now you got it. Now you really got it. And so now it's stronger. It's gonna make you stronger.
Yeah.
And
or
all of that come right back, full circle.
Or even if you don't have it, now you can you got people that you can call and be like, yeah, sis, this appointment coming up, man, can you you know what I'm saying? Or you don't feel like, I gotta do this all by myself.
All by myself. Yes, exactly.
And your mind just going here and there, and you done made yourself sick.
Yep.
Because it done played so much on your mind that you allowed it to come.
Yep. And I had my fair share of that. I'm still getting beat up about it now.
Girl, see. So then that leads me to another question. Which character do you relate to the most in the play?
You want to go first?
Or no.
I say the character that I play.
Okay. So Bianca Warren.
And with a little mix of Michelle.
Okay.
And I might say a little bit of Felicia. And the reason why I say that is because sometimes I don't go around my family. You know what I'm saying? Not that I don't love my family, because I love them. But, sometimes it's easier to be away from them because you don't think about certain things. You just focusing on whatever you focusing on. And if you dip into certain things, you don't see yourself coming out of that thing. You know what I'm saying? So I would say definitely Bianca and Michelle and a little bit of Felicia for sure. I don't know. It might be Katrina too. Shoot.
Well, on the offset, I'm definitely, Katrina, because it's like, okay, yeah, I'm doing everything on one side. Because, I have a dual family type thing. So on one side, I'm definitely the one that's, Katrina over here. Yeah. But then on the other side, it's like Felicia a little bit.
Okay.
Because it's like, because I know the things that happen to me. It's like, okay, I hate for people to be like, what's wrong? I don't like that feeling of somebody knowing that I'm broken. Y'all know me well enough. I hate it. I don't want people to know that I'm sick. I'm really sick. I hate it. Leave me alone. No. So I'm probably going to shut my blinds, lock the door. I'm cutting the ringer off. Y'all know. Leave me alone. I'm good. Even though I'm also dying for somebody to talk all at the same time. And I just, So I suck at it. I suck at it.
Girl.
And then Evelyn, and then Miss Evelyn too, because in a heartbeat, I'm gonna have your back. And I'm probably gonna ride or die. I'm ride or die for real. Like, yo.
You are. That you are. I mean, so
So
I mean, because you definitely are. So I mean, I think for me, definitely Katrina. It's very hard for me to play her because there is so much of her in me that is not even funny. And I'm like, how do you play yourself? It just seemed weird. You know what I mean? Because like, how do you be you? It seems like it should be easy if the person is a lot like you, but it's just, I like when I can just come in and be somebody else. Because, you know, okay, I get to do this today.
yeah.
But I think it's because it makes you internalize things. You know, it makes you confront you with things about yourself, you know, cracks in the mirror that you can see in yourself that you maybe you don't want to see or you felt like you weren't ready to see.
Right.
So I mean, even like how I talked when I was doing Katrina, Tina was like, no, I don't like her voice. Like, make her sound more like you. And then I'm like, then she really gonna be like me. And then I'm gonna feel like everything is all over the place because now she sounds like me too. You know what I mean? But because I think it's easy to pretend.
Yeah.
I think it's easy to wear masks. In
Mhm.
that way, people only get the version of you that you want them to see.
Exactly.
And they don't see the real you. They don't see your pain. They don't see your trauma. They don't see what's going on behind closed doors. And Kenyatta had mentioned this earlier, and we talked about it last time too. That familiar adage of what goes on in mama's house stays in mama's house.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, and I mean, of course, there are some things that we should not be discussing, you know, what's going on with the finances. You know what I'm saying? If they got money tucked away someplace, we shouldn't be talking about that, or, you know, things that are prudent for us not to discuss. But then there are so many other things that we need to talk about. And there are some things that people have experienced in their childhood, and they might be well into their senior years, and they still have not given themselves permission at this late state to talk about it even now. You know,
And
they're
take
just
it to the
holding
grave.
on to secrets.
Yeah.
And so I guess my next question is, how do you feel after a secret is revealed? How do you personally feel when something that you didn't want everybody to know comes out and now they know?
Mm.
Hmm.
Ooh.
Well, the funny thing is,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, okay, I don't know, maybe it is my age, but and like some of the stuff is like, I don't know if it's like bad stuff, but like now I've gotten to the point where it's like I don't say some stuff and like to my mom, and I'm like, I'm too old for this now. I don't got time. Yeah, that happened. And I'm such and such years old, and I don't
Okay.
got time to hold it in no more.
So you feel very freed and liberated.
Too old for that. I'm like, I don't told the diary. I might as well tell you. At this point, literally, like I like some things I've just been random conversation with my mom, and I'm like, oh yeah, that did happen. Yeah. Oh, you didn't know? Now you do. Sorry. Like, I'm sorry. Should have told you. Sorry, my bad. Because then I think at that time it may have been a situation where I felt like I needed to keep it to myself. But then now that I'm this age and now I'm just like sitting here like, why did I keep it to myself all this time? So like now that it's like general conversation, I'm like, that was probably dumb that I kept that to myself. So you know, and then some things that may have been some like, and it's been some stuff that she's been upset about, like I wish you'd have told me then type stuff.
Right.
And like now I'm like, I guess at the time I didn't probably think it was a big deal. I mean, I probably thought it was a big deal, but like now that I'm older, I'm like, you know, it like you're right. I probably should have told you then. But now I'm like, sorry, mom.
Oops.
So I don't know. She was a little upset about a few of the things, and I'm just like, ugh. So I guess I guess it is the freedom that I'm a little older now, and I'm just like, it is what it is. It made me who I am now. You still love me though. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it is about the age. And so I feel a little freer. I feel like I'm glad she know. And it didn't harm me. I'm okay. I did find trusted people at the time. It may not have been her. Trust me, it never went outside the family. It was just always one of these things where I was just like, I ain't telling my mama that she gonna kill me. One of them things, but it was never intended to hurt her. It was more or less like, this ain't the right time.
Okay.
But I feel a little freer now. So,
Okay.
it's too. I told my diary, I might as well tell you.
So you felt liberated and you felt free. What about you, Selena?
I'm trying to think.
You need a minute?
Yeah, but I guess it does make you feel free. Like easier to talk a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Like, that didn't hurt you. You might as well say a few more things. I'm not gonna say ain't quite there yet. But some stuff you just be like, at least that's gone. Because I used to be like, well, if you ain't really gotta say it, just don't say it. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, it's more of trying not to hurt other people.
Yeah.
Even though it's my
worrying about what people's
people's perception of me. And
girl, you better say that.
Back to hiding being pregnant. You know what I'm saying? And then when I got pregnant for the second time and I had a child that I was teaching to hide it too.
Girl, you better you went deep on that one. Okay,
So,
y'all deep tonight. Y'all deep.
My third child, I'm like, it felt good to say, hey, I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But man, that just made me think of something because I taught my first child how to keep secrets.
Oh yeah,
girl, mic drop.
Talk about it at home. You can talk about it with TT. You can talk about it with your grandma, but you cannot talk about it with nobody at church.
Girl,
with nobody else outside this house. He was 5.
Girl,
I taught him at 5 how to keep that secret.
Yeah.
See, you didn't change.
Open up a can of worms.
Stays in mama's house.
Girl.
Now that he's 27.
Yeah.
A lot of things he kept from me that could have saved him. Trying not to hurt me, even though he was hurting.
Girl,
that goes back to what I said. We were like, it's this notion that we're supposed to just not. Supposed to just not. And I'm like, we'd probably be a little stronger if we did, though.
We definitely would.
Stuff, no.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's wow. I didn't really, yeah.
Like I said, that was a mic drop. I mean, y'all both didn't drop some fire on tonight. I'm gonna say
that's why I said that. I said, like, in retrospect, I'm like, why did I do that? Because and then I realized once I told her, we were able to share more. Like now, when I talk to her now, conversation be like so different. Because like now we talk. And I'm like, dang, what was I doing? I could have talked to her about so much. Like, wow. Like we talk now. And I'm like, oh my God, so much more.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that's very deep, and I'm glad that you guys made those points. We're gonna almost get ready to end it here because our time is almost up. But I want to say I agree with you guys. It is very freeing. In my book, Naked and Not Ashamed, I just talked about a lot of things that were personal. There were some things that I talked about in that book that at first, when I was going through those things a little bit earlier in life, I would have died. That's how I would have felt. Like I would have died if somebody would have known. When I tell you, it was so easy to tell, like, yep, I'm finna tell this, and yep, I'm finna tell that, and it was such a liberating experience. I felt totally free. I felt like powerful and like I could conquer the world, and I didn't feel like anything could hold me down. And so sometimes I just want to say to you guys, the last little thing is you definitely need to come see this play. These ladies do a phenomenal job, and the young man, Kenyatta. He's holding it down, a whole bunch of estrogen, but he's still holding it down. So you guys got to come check this out, this amazing performance. Let's give it up for the cast of The Beautiful Truth About an Ugly Lie.
Yes, I still do. Round of applause.
Girl, yes. Sprinkle it on in. I mean, they got to come in to find what the tea is, what the big secret is. So we will catch you guys next time. Everybody have a great evening. And this is Her Purpose on Trivia's Inspirational Radio.
Thank you for having us.
Bye.
Okay, Trivia. I don't know.